We started this build June 25th. It is exactly a month later, July 25th. Here's where we're at. All right, kicking off a new week on this Monday morning. This week, we're getting ready for concrete. That floor is getting poured on Friday. So I think today, finishing up the radiant floor heat, and they got to pressurize all those lines, make sure it tests good, and code's gonna have to approve that. But by the end of this week, we should have a concrete floor. All right, guys, so this was Monday, July 20th, and what they did this day was come back, lay down the rest of the foam board, the rest of the concrete reinforcement, and they ran the rest of the PEX for the radiant floor heat. So this was a lot of PEX for them to lay down, but it was pretty cool. They had like this automatic wire tie thing you can see right there that just automatically tied it to the concrete reinforcement, so kept it all secure, and that made quick work of obviously hand twist tying it, because that would have sucked. But they got the living area done, then moved on to the shop and got it all in on there too, and it was looking real good. That's probably a tedious job to do. All right, guys, so builders just left, and I think as of right now, we are pretty much concrete ready in here. So all the PEX is ran. That is a lot of piping. So the PEX is for the radiant floor heat. We got that out here in the shop, and then as well as the living area. So the living area, it is going to be in zones. So each room will have its own thermostat. Bathroom will, living area will. He put less for the pantry, so there's a little less tubing running through there because it doesn't need to be hot, super hot in there. They put this thing in there for the divider wall, and that shows you where the man door out to the shop will be. So that's a lot of pipe they ran today, and I believe they have it under pressure right now, and hopefully, yep, 50 pounds of pressure. Hopefully code will come tomorrow to inspect it, look it over. But anyway, that's ready to roll. They started running some more electric. I went over a few things with them for that. But the biggest thing he told me this week is the concrete for the concrete floor is scheduled for Friday morning at 7 a.m. So that's going to be the big day. I can't wait to see that. Looking good out here today. Alrighty, well, that is going to do it for Monday. Stay tuned for the rest of the week. Okay, code enforcer is here to check the pressure on the PEX tubing for the radiant floor heat. Good morning, guys. Okay, it's now Wednesday morning, so yesterday was a quiet day. The builders didn't come back yesterday, so it's all concrete ready and it's pressurized. So yesterday, code enforcement came to do their inspection and said it looks good, outside of one minor change they're going to do today. So this outside wall up to the skirt board here, they tapered it. Said they like to do that for troweling and finishing, but code didn't like that, so they want to replace it with just a straight cut piece. So quick minor change, he said they'll take care of today. But I'm honestly not expecting too much more this week until Friday morning when the concrete gets poured. So they're gonna come back today. Not sure how much they'll do, and I won't be here most of the day today until later. So if something changes, I'll check in then. If not, we will be back Friday morning for concrete. Alrighty, well, I was gone most of the day today, but they did come back and replace this that code wanted them to do. As you can see, now it's a straight cut all the way around now. And they pretty much took all the equipment with them now. So that's all gone. I'm gonna assume at this point, we will not be back until Friday morning for concrete. So I will probably check back in with you then. All right, guys, checking in on Thursday afternoon here. So the concrete company is here that's doing the floor, and they're kind of getting some molds ready and prepping for concrete in the morning, because those trucks are coming at 7 a.m. So they're getting that going, and super excited to have a floor tomorrow morning. Alrighty, well, this is the last you're going to be seeing this insulation and PEX. Hopefully, because if you see it after tomorrow, that means we got a problem and we're jackhammering it. So tomorrow, the floor is going in. The concrete guys were here. They put up a little 2x4 wall here to pour the concrete up to that. And they put this stuff over here just to probably stop the concrete from going down in there. And the concrete will come up to here because there's got to be an 1.5 inch gap below the door for the carbon monoxide. So we're ready. We're ready for a floor. Concrete trucks will be here bright and early, so I'll catch up with you then. Ready to pour a floor? Here we go. So to start pouring the floor, they actually had an additional truck there, and the cement truck dumped cement into that truck that had a pump on it. And they ran a hose into the back of the building where they could then get concrete, obviously from outside to inside. So it was quite the process, but it was pretty cool to see how they did that. Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
When we're all done, that's gonna polish it.
Spins around.
Yeah. We gotta fill that in there anyway, so that's a good place to clean out. Go see where he dumped it.
Then we can go up close.
Just don't make yourself a mess of it. That's it right there. Is it hard yet? Not yet? No. Alright, well, we got truck number 2 here dumping in. And there's truck number 3 getting ready to roll. Truck number 3. That's pretty cool. So dude, it pumps it into there and then pumps it out and in. That's quite the process, huh? Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it pumps. Alright, we'll probably have to get out of the way in a minute. Alrighty, well that's truck 3 down. Probably one more truck. And then we'll have a floor, dude. We will have a floor. Alright, well they're done with the pump truck. They're cleaning that out right now. And I would think there's one more truck that doesn't need the pump truck, they can drive right up to it and just spout it in with the thing. So then they don't need the hoses or anything, so. Alrighty, truck number 4 is here and we're gonna finish this thing up. All right, well, the lumber for the interior framing just arrived, so they're unloading that, and now they're polishing the concrete. So this was getting towards the end of the day, and once the concrete got set up enough, this was kind of cool. They were able to cut the relief cuts the same exact day. And as you can see, all the dust flying, they cut them and they blew it all out with a leaf blower. And the crew was able to complete that whole job in one day, relief cuts and all. So that was pretty cool to see all that come together. And the concrete floor was in, and another step down. How's it look?
Daddy, our floor's hard.
Oh, man.
Can I step on it?
No, I would wait.
Why? I see the workers' footprints on it.
Yeah, I know, but I would wait. We got a floor. And it looks phenomenal. So for a Barndo, we got 4-inch concrete throughout both the living area as well as the shop. We debated about going 5 inches on the shop, but we felt 4 inches enough. If we were gonna park that in there long term, we might have decided on 5 inches, but honestly, we're gonna park that in here probably this winter, and that's it. And we did just completely natural concrete. Some people tint their concrete in their living area. I decided against that. I just wanted the natural concrete look. I've heard of some horror stories where if you tint it and, you know, where your heavier foot traffic is, it can wear down and then not look as good. And if you try to retint it again, it'll never match. So decided to stay all natural. I don't mind the look of it. And we got some plans for the kitchen counters that are gonna tie into that. So stay tuned for that. We got a floor and it has become extremely echoey in here. So it was a long day for them yesterday, but it looks great. They cut the relief cuts in the same exact day, which I didn't even know you could do, but that's pretty cool. And he said they did also put seal and Kier, I think it was called, or Kier and seal over it. He said it was water-based, so there is some type of sealant on it. He said you can add additional sealant, but he said out here, which I've heard from a few people now, there's like a high gloss finish you can do, which looks really good, but he said if your shoes are wet, it turns into a ice skating rink. So Out here, I'm definitely not doing that. The living area, possibly we could do that. We could keep the mudroom normal, and then, you know, that's where you're gonna be walking in with wet shoes anyway. And then in here, we could do the high gloss. Not to that point yet anyway. We wouldn't do that until after framing, until after they're all done in here. So the guys who did it was Kenny Masonry and Tile. They're out of Canandaigua, and yeah, they did great work. The owner's name is Joe, and I talked to him for a while. Really super nice guy. As you can see, from the middle of a shop floor, it slopes down to the doors for drainage, and that means there would have been a 1.5 inch gap underneath here, but they did a great job kind of building it up below there. And I don't know, it's kind of probably hard to see on camera, but it looks really good. They did a really good job. Over here, he couldn't do that, seeing as how this is going into our living area. There has to be this 1.5 inch gap here for carbon monoxide reasons. You leave a car running in here, carbon monoxide settles. You don't want it settling into the living area. So this is looking awesome. JD, the guy we're working with from Horst Custom Homes, he said the guys will be back at some point this week to start interior framing on our living area. So that'll be really cool seeing how all that lays out. Good morning. What's going on, homies? Be a lot more comfortable if you wore shoes on the driveway, huh? What do you guys think of the floor?
Like it.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Really starting to come together. Super excited about this. As far as the next videos, depending on how much they get done this week, it might be 2 weeks for my next video. We'll see, time will tell. Stay tuned, more coming. Thanks for watching, hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next one.